Hello, hello, what's up everybody? CIZ here with my next Company of Heroes 2 AnalyCieZ. This game will be Luvnest, who I think needs no introduction at all. Consistently one of the top players in the game, against CUC-Park, who I believe is Korean Army. I could be wrong about that, but I think I'm right about it. And he got, I think, top 4 in Romeo's last 1v1 tournament. I want to give a quick shout out to Computer Heat, who had always told me to do a sound check before casting a game. I did my sound check before I casted this one, watching one of the live games that was going on, and somehow my recording profile got messed up and my microphone was not being picked up at all. And this game is, I believe, over an hour long, so you should definitely go ahead and get your popcorn ready. Get your drink, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do, because we're going to be in it for the long haul on this one. So I'm super glad I didn't cast this entire game, only to realize that, yeah, my mic was off the whole time. So we're good to go now, and it should be an exciting game. I don't want to give the title of the replay away because, I don't know. I think it'll spoil what we have to look forward to, or maybe not look forward to, depending on what kind of gameplay you like in CUC-2. Also, I want to apologize. I have been a little bit of sick for the past couple days. Like, my throat's been a little bit sore, so if I clear my throat or have to pause for water breaks or anything like that, I do apologize for that. But I wanted to go ahead and get this cast out since the patch is coming very, very soon. And tomorrow is Father's Day, and then Monday I'll be working and all that kind of stuff. So I've been busy recently, but I think I'll be good to go. I think my throat can take it. I wanna get this cast in there because it's supposed to be an awesome game. So Korean Army. I'm just gonna call the Soviet player Korean Army. Hopefully I'm right now, like I said earlier. Anyways, so Luvnest is occupying this house, is a very, very important structure on this map. Definitely the most important house on this map. One of the most important houses in the game. With his control over this house, which won't be lasting much longer, he can exert a lot of influence over the south player's cutoff. Luvnest had also garrisoned in here, which is a decent house for Grens. Only 2 windows on each side, but, if there are multiple enemies that you can shoot at from the different windows, it's still fine. One thing I do want to point out, I'll go ahead and apologize for anyone that's a more experienced player. My casts do tend to err on the side of analyzing top-level replays for, mid and high-skilled players to learn from. But I've seen a lot of people recently that are new to the CUC-2 scene, so I want to at least start catering some of the casts to helping them learn the game. And one mistake I frequently see is people garrisoning houses like this one. So when you garrison a house, your guys can only shoot out of whatever available windows there are. So you see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 windows on this side, so 4 dudes can shoot this way. Likewise, there's three windows on this side, so 3 guys could shoot out of this side of the house. So that's one thing you definitely want to keep in mind when you are garrisoning houses. Anyways, back to the action. So Luvnest had gotten back in the cutoff house. I think Korean Army had teched Molotov, so he pushed him out for a minute, but Luvnest hops back in, and this Gren squad is at about half, but with this MG moving up and this Gren squad moving up, the MG should be able to flank the screen cover to suppress those cons, which will allow Luvnest to remain in this house, probably pop out for a second and grab the cutoff. Meanwhile, Korean Army did actually cap the western fuel over here, which is good for him. It should be connected. I'm going to go ahead and turn the Fog of War off for now so we can see the whole map influence. So he does have, or he did have Luvnest's fuel as well as his own. Well, I guess I'll just say east and west fuel because they're pretty equidistant. It's hard to say which is which players. I generally refer to this as Luvnest's fuel because it can get cut off by capturing 1 point, whereas this would be the south player's fuel because it can get cut off by capturing this point. But we'll just say east and west fuel. So Korean Army did have a moment there of both fuels, but now Luvnest is pulling a nice cutoff move here, so he cuts Korean Army off from the fuel and the munitions as well as this point. So it's almost pointless for these cons to cap that point, but it's more pointless for them to try and engage against 2 squads by themselves. Plus he doesn't know what else Luvnest might have in there. Now personally I think Luvnest probably should have kept this house. with this Gren squad, although it is super low health, so maybe it would have been too risky with, you know, a Molotov going in there or flamers coming up. Nice flank by Korean Army. He should be able to, yep, easily get that MG out of there. So I bet you he did not mean to retreat that con squad. He probably meant to retreat the engineers, but selected both and then happened to retreat them both, which is unfortunate, but not hugely devastating. So Korean Army doing a good job of playing both sides of the map, which is just something that I think we're going to continually see more and more and more of in top level play. I mean, we already see it, but it's one of those things that I think will be like one of those next steps in defining player skill and setting people apart. Is just the ability to micro, you know, in 2 and 3 different places, you know, to a very high degree. Right, so Korean Army giving up his fuel over here, or giving up the east fuel to maintain control of this house. I don't know if he just wanted to see what was in there, or he probably actually didn't want to engage a full health Gren squad with a half health con squad, which is a good choice, because you're not going to win that fight. Nice Molotov over here. I'm a little bit surprised Luvnest didn't dodge it. He's usually quite on top of that, but his attention could have been elsewhere. Especially healing up his troops and whatnot, but that Molotov will let Korean Army, or I'll just call him Park, just in case I'm wrong. It will let Park grab the west fuel back, and he has a nice flank coming in here, Molotoving this Gren squad. I'm a little bit surprised Luvnest didn't dodge that one either. So 4 squads against 2, plus a nice Molotov. You know, Park will definitely be able to take this side of the map. He has gone ahead and chosen Shock Army, or Shock Rifle Front Line, sorry, not Soviet Shock Army. But he has shock troops out on the field. Luvnest still has not chosen his doctrine. I believe Luvnest will probably try to garrison that house, which will be a bad idea against these flamethrowers. Also for newer players, or anybody that may or may not know, I believe it's still the case that flamethrowers actually do bonus damage to garrisoned units. So they're very, very good at de-garrisoning buildings, you know. I think that'd be the right word for it, right? De-garrisoning. They're very good at dislodging. That might be the better term. They're very good at dislodging units. So this con squad's actually in 2 capping zones. Unfortunately for Park, they were capping the VP the whole time. Squads can't actually cap 2 points at once. So good flank there. Good URA into that Molotov to get rid of that MG. It'll let this squad get unsuppressed so he doesn't have to retreat them. Another big fight over here. These engineers taking a lot of damage from those LMG Grens in the house. The shock troops are here to save the day, though. Luvnest is definitely going to have to retreat this Gren squad. There's no way that they could take those shocks out at all. Even getting to the house, I don't know, seems a bit strange. He does have Grens coming to support. There's a grenade going in the house. He better get out. Ooh. I think he was a little bit lucky of not taking a ton of damage there. These shocks, throwing a smoke grenade, they're going to block the line up side of those Grens, and they're running into the smoke grenade, which is smart. So I think, you know, Park wanted to hope that Luvnest wasn't paying attention, because if these Grens had been ordered to attack, the shocks would have run into the smoke as well, and then meet the shocks face to face. And the last thing that Grens want to do is have to fight PPSHs face to face. But Luvnest wisely pulling back and forces those shock troops out. It only took 1 Gren loss and killed a couple more shock models. So, very good trade for him. Unfortunately for him, the map control is well in Park's favor. He has all the important points in the map. Luvnest down to 3, well, really 2 standard points of income, because he'll get these 2 back, but still. Park has, as you can see down here, a massive income lead. He's finished tier 2 and already has 145 fuel, so if he wants to, he could definitely take tier 3 or tier 4. Molotovs are just doing a number on Luvnest, constantly keeping him out of cover, keeping him out of buildings. Well, it'll be interesting to see how things end up going for Park as the LMG Grens start hitting the field. So early game, conscripts definitely have the upper hand against Grens. Grens can still win if they're at long range in cover, but Cons having the 6th model and the ability to, although it's a very small chance, to alpha strike 1 model, in that if 5 of the 6 conscripts all hit 1 model at the same time, technically they can kill it in 1 hit. Doesn't happen often though. It's just a fun fact. I give my friend Lemon credit to that fact. I mean, it's something that I guess I kind of already realized, but never had put explicitly into words. But those are his words, and I want to give him credit for that. So, yes, Cons, with their superior squad size, definitely have the advantage early game. However, once Grams start getting their upgrades, and especially Vet 2, like Vet 2 LMGs, when they get more damage, so it's like you have the LMG which does a ton of damage, and then you have Vet 2 which does even more damage, you just start chewing up the cons. Ooh, that's going to be really bad for Luvnest. So, huge play here from Park. He perfectly timed, so Luvnest had no idea that there was a Zyz gun on the field, so he perfectly timed the AT grenade with the Zyz gun shot. So there was really no way Luvnest could have known. Ouch, he kind of friendly fires his own shocks there. But yeah, you know, Luvnest just wanted to get some aggressive play going on against those two Soviet squads of the shocks and the cons. He had no real way of knowing that the AT gun was even on the field, so it was a little bit unfortunate for him, but that was actually extremely well played by Park, you know, not giving away his AT gun until he was able to use it to kill Luvnest's flag track. Sorry, flag track. I'm so used to building an OKW flag track. Half track. So, Luvnest also, wow, so this map control is like the exact opposite of what we saw a minute ago. So, you know, a minute ago we looked at the tactical map and Park had everything. Now, Luvnest has everything. And this is one of the things that I really love about CUC-2. You know, I'm definitely not here to bash VCO at all, but I love the capping system in CUC-2 because it makes the game so dynamic and so fast. Like, the map control in CUC-2 can shift so quickly because of things like, you know, weapon teams being able to cap. You don't, and you can fight while capping, so you don't, oh, this MG is, needs to retreat right away. If he gets unlucky, it might die, but I think he'll be alright. Yeah, he'll be good. Since you can fight while capping as well, you know, you could have a squad capping here while more squads are fighting here. Nice rifle grenade. Park needs to retreat that. Yep, very good, very good. I keep derailing my own train of thought. So yeah, since you can fight while capping, it just leads to the map control changing hands very, very quickly. And here's more of that what I was talking about, you know, just this beautiful, multifaceted gameplay on a map like Angoville, where you have to be everywhere at once. It's a really, really great 1v1 map. I love it a lot. My only complaint is how focal this house can be sometimes. So I'm even having trouble keeping up with all of this. We have 3 cons against 2 Grens here. The cons should win this. Yeah, those Grens forced off. Now it's two cons against a half health LMG squad. Love probably should have switched the focus to that, maybe, instead of the retreating squad. He wasn't going to get a squad wipe there unless he got extremely lucky. But he might have could have picked off one more model before retreating, but not really a big mistake. That's just super nitpicky things that I think about sometimes. Meanwhile, over here, machine gun suppressing those shocks. They throw a nice smoke grenade to prevent its line of fire on them, and they're crawling away. The Grens should be able to keep them suppressed for quite some time, though. Small arms fire does do a very, very slight amount of suppression, so if you keep shooting at a suppressed squad, they will stay suppressed. Eventually, though, they will get unsuppressed just like that. Trying to flank the MG, he actually makes to the flank, but he got suppressed first. These Grens are not going to be happy once these PPSHs close in. He has managed to pick up a couple models, though, in retreat without losing anything, so that was a really good exchange for Luvnest, actually. This MG is just not having a good day. It is a Vet 2 though, taking a ton of damage. Definitely he has to retreat it again. LMG Grens though to save the day. I don't know if they'll be able to beat both of these sets of cons. They are Vet 2 with an LMG and full health, so we'll keep an eye on that fight. Luvnest's second MG is over here. Definitely a wise choice to get another MG against these shocks and against these hordes of conscripts that are running around, causing havoc, throwing Molotovs everywhere. Double Vet 3 LMG Grens though, so these are really going to start putting the pain on Park. He doesn't have any Vet 3 squads right now. His squad preservation from both players has been great. I don't think either player has lost a squad. There's a way to check that. No, that's pause button. It's this one. So units, yeah, I don't think either of them have lost a squad yet. But the Grens, having been shooting at the shock troops and whatnot, and just having more kills in general, are picking up more veterans. What happened to my UI? Oh boy. There we go. I think I fixed it. That was a really weird UI bug. Hopefully it didn't give away the timer in the game time. There's still a lot of time left in the game, so no spoiler, you know there. This Gren squad completely surrounded by cons and gets the heck out of there. And has Park. No, Park has not teched anymore. So we can pretty much expect that he'll be calling in a KV-8 or just stalling for an IS-2. Probably at this point stalling for the IS-2 because he doesn't have an exorbitant amount of fuel. Luvnest has been doing a really great job of wrestling back map control. You know, early game we saw the map control just extremely in Park's favor. But as I was, you know, mentioning, these LMG Grands getting vet hitting the field are just doing work. This machine gun could die. That's super low health. First I was gonna say the flame barrage was off, but oh yeah, that thing was super dead. Super dead. So that's another thing to consider. Whenever you're capping, I've mentioned this before I think in my cast, you want to try to cap on the circle if possible, because if you're in here, it'll give your opponent vision as to what unit is capping, because you get a little bit of vision around the capping radius. And so, since Park knew that it was an MG there, and it was low health, you know, two things he could have gotten from seeing that. I'm not 100% sure that that's what he saw from the capping circle, but I'm pretty sure that is. Maybe he just knew it was there. Anyway, actually he must have had, yeah, he had to have vision somehow. Anyway, let's assume he knew that it was the low health MG from the capping circle site. Now he knows that it's a good thing to flame barrage, because if it's just normal Grens, they're just going to run away instantly when the flame barrage starts happening, whereas the MG has to pack up, etc, etc. And that was a nasty rifle nade though. They do get suppressed, and Luvnest is probably just going to try to grab this and YOLO out with his Pios. Actually, yeah, I don't know, he might need, no, that's probably too risky, so I think Park's actually going to get away with this machine gun. It's a low health gun spot. Ooh, P4 might save the day. I don't know if Park has AT grenades. Okay, he does. But these shocks are going to be totally helpless against the P4. The flamers as well. I think he's just trying to stall to grab this MG42. His Ziz gun, oh, he was stalling for the Ziz gun to get in range. Ziz does get in range. So that's going to push the P4 back. And Park does get away with an MG42, which that's a unfortunate loss for Luvnest. The last thing that you want to be fighting against as Ostheer are 6-man MG42 squads. Perfect nade dodge. Well, almost a perfect nade dodge. Loses one model, but that's not really a big deal. One model for like 35 munitions or whatever a shock nade costs is not a good trade for the shocks. So as map control is, man, it's been pretty even overall. I have to say, you know, early game was definitely, as we can see from the VPs, was in Park's favor, but since then it's been quite even. I feel like most of the fighting is happening on the eastern half of the map in the quote-unquote city area, whereas this poor MG squad, oh boy. As I was saying, most of the fighting I think has been happening over here, and then it's just the constant harassment of the western side. But I think I've seen like 3 times now that this MG has come and tried to cap over here, and just like a con squad comes and is like, ooh-ah, and then just has to pack up and go back home. So P4, scared of the cons, doesn't want to get engine damage, and this is one of the things I'm looking forward to in the new patch, that hopefully we've all seen the notes for, is that, now, I don't know what 75% is, maybe right there, so maybe it would have had to still fear an AT grenade, but in the new patch, this P4 would, if it was at full health, could, you know, take an AT nade to the face, a penetrating AT nade to the face without worrying about engine damage. Gives it a lot more freedom to be aggressive, so it's going to be a nice change in my opinion. All this MG42, making those Grens run on home. This is some really weird map control right now. This sector's decapped. All of this is cut off from Luvnest. But he still has this. So like right now nobody has fuel or munitions? I guess, yeah, Park has that. Anyway. P4 moving in to try to push off the cons that pushed off that poor MG. But Park's Ziz gun is there, laying in some really good shots. I'm gonna turn on the fog for now. I want to see it from Luvnest's perspective. This is one thing that I frequently commented on, that I think is always relevant. It has been Park's AT gun usage this game. I see a lot of players who never hold fire their AT guns, which, I mean, I guess I can see the logic that, well, maybe the AT gun will snipe a model if I get lucky. Yeah, so it's better to have them shooting than not shooting, but in my opinion, at least once there's a tank rolling around, you know, right now Luvnest, I mean, so he knew it was over here. But, and so you can make a pretty good guess that it's probably not on this side of the map by now, but he's not going to be able to chase this squad because he doesn't know where that AT gun is. You know, oh, I hear an IS-2 in the fog. That's a bad news for Luvnest. He doesn't pick the commander though. I think Luvnest is sad about the IS-2. IS-2, who would have guessed it? Well, IS-2 is going to chase this Grunt Squad all the way home. They want that Bet 3 kill. He doesn't have the mounted DSHK, so they might lose. That's nice. Nice survival for Luvnest there. This pack's not in a good place for that IS-2 though. This poor MG, man. This MG has just had the worst day of their lives, these gunners. First of all, cons are constantly running at them and throwing friggin' Molotovs. And then the next thing you know, the IS-2 just rumbles around the bushes and tries to crush them. Luvnest did manage to decrew that MG42, won't be able to pick it up. The IS-2 is gonna send them home, send them packing. The Flame Barrage didn't really do much, only decrewed 2 pack members, so it's at 120 munitions for like 40 manpower or 32 manpower or something, 44 manpower. So, not a great trade, but it did save some health on his IS-2, I guess. So, there is that. So Luvnest still refusing to pick a commander. I would be surprised if we don't see Tigers. I have no idea what commander Luvnest is going to pick. However, given that there's an IS-2 on the field in this current patch, I'm not a huge fan of fighting IS-2s with P4s. I mean, even Tigers aren't great against IS-2s, but it's a much more winnable fight than the P4. Because you really have to, like, P4 has no chance on the frontal armor of a IS-2, it's just not a thing. Luvnest is gonna need another AT gun though, I'm sure. This poor MG again. Just the worst day ever. Yeah, that poor squad. P4 is up to 12 kills though. So it's slowly but surely making its presence known. Another nice shot there. So up to 15 kills now. I'm gonna take a sip of water while these tanks move around and let you guys enjoy. Another nice AT gun shot, man. You're just a ninja with these AT guns, man. Oh, well, I was gonna take a sip of water, but that IS-2 just hit a teller mine. Unfortunately, it's only engine damage. For a second, since it totally stopped, I thought it was gonna be totally immobilized. That would have been crazy RNG. I don't know why Park's not pulling it back more. I would send this baby right to my base. Bring this gun over to support it. Because you know that Luvnest heard that, and you know Luvnest is going to be out for blood. But I think that the IS-2 will be okay. There's a lot of support here, and his guys are coming to repair it. The good news is that it's going to keep it out of the game for probably about a minute. Let's see, 23:30 is when we started repairing, so I want to see how long it's going to take to repair. Oh boy. So, I was sipping my water, but Luvnest is really going for it. The pack shot connects from max distance. He gets around the hedge, the P4 shot bounces. Luvnest doesn't want to dive in. He doesn't know where that AT gun is. This gun is pushing up. I might go for it if I was Luv. Trading a P4 for an IS-2 is hugely favorable for you. The pack's coming around. You have a pack shot and a P4 shot. You have blitz. The P4 misses. Oh, but the pack connects. Ultimately, that's probably not what Luvnest was hoping for, given that the IS-2 did hit his teller, but trading a P4, you know, that's 125 fuel for a 230 fuel vehicle. For 230 fuel is ultimately a good trade for Luvnest. Alright, I'm gonna take myself a water now.
Losing a sector.
Alright. So Luvnest did pick assault support, so it looks like we're going to see Tigers against IS-2s. And these squad preservation. Oh, don't die! No. I think that was like the first squad of Grens that Luvnest lost. I think the only other thing he lost was his MG42. Just look at this beautiful veterancy. Park has really caught up in vet. Vet 3 shocks, vet 3 cons, vet 3 cons, vet 3 cons, vet 3 engineers, vet 1's his gun. Luvnest vet is beautiful too. I mean, he had 3 he had 4 vet 3 Grens until he just lost that one. Vet 2 MG. That I think it's just gotten veterancy from dying over and over. Only has 6 kills. It's already like almost vet 3. It's like 75% of the way to vet 3. Doesn't need to repair the gun though. His gun's at about half health. Should be pretty unfortunate if an IS-2 shot break it. Would not be bueno. That's another thing. Small tip that most people probably know about, but for anybody that doesn't, you can actually see the health of a weapon right here. So this isn't the squad's health. This is the actual like whether or not the weapon will break health. It won't be as relevant next patch since weapons won't break while they're crewed, which is an amazing quality life change in my opinion. But until then, or even after then, if you're wondering, well, how much health is this thing going to have when I drop it? That bar right there. Tiger pushing in here, gets a huge first shot on those cons. First con squad down. Oh, another beautiful shot on those shocks. I believe that's the first squad, except for this MG42 that got rifle-mated. That Park has lost. He's doing a little bit of a risky capping here near these S-mines. This is a really good S-mine field from Luvnest, especially considering that he's only ever seen the one combat engineer squad from Park, and he knows it has a flamethrower, which means he knows that he does not have a sweeper. So he's either going to have to just eat the manpower bleed, or try to run these over, or get a combat engineer squad and sweep it. And he might lose the squad on retreat. Yep. So that was a really, really great investment for Luvnest. I believe that was at least bet 2, but probably bet 3. Bet 3 squad down for some S-mines. It's not even the whole S-mine field either. It was like 2 or 3 patches of S-mines. Tiger and LMG Grens coming to flank the stolen MG42. It does suppress that Gren squad, but it's going to have to pack up. Oh, finally, this MG42 comes on this side and it gets to hide behind a sandbag. These dudes are probably so thankful right now. So thankful. Lots of cons pushing in here. Those piles, yep, definitely gonna have to run home. Not a fight that they're able to win. Luvnest has sweepers on these guys, which is very nice to see. He hasn't really needed the flamers this game. There hasn't been a ton of garrisoning, except for like the very, very beginning of the game. We just have a Tiger to deal with garrisons now anyway. Another IS-2 rumbles on the field though. So that was a really unfortunate exchange for Luvnest. I believe both of those shots penetrated, whereas his Tiger's first 2 shots didn't penetrate and then just crew shocked. Pack moving into position. Whew. These guys are at least behind. Another bounce. Holy cow! Relic, please. The bounces. IS-2 armor. It's crazy. And a miss. IS-2 coming to flank it, and these guys are like, well, we know what to do here, boys. These guys need to get like some special ability that can pack their MG up faster, like just because they've done it so much. I wonder how. I wish it was how many times the squads retreated style. I wonder how many times that squad's retreated. Alright, so let's take a look at the map here. Luvnest capping the entire west, and Park pretty much controlling the entire east, which I believe is, you know, pretty much the common Angoville split in terms of east versus west, rather than a map like maybe Kharkov, you know, this very north versus south type split, or Longriz is generally north versus south type split. LMG guns pushing in, they're a little bit clumped. The IS-2 shot is slightly off target. They probably should get out of there. Yeah, you don't want to risk another IS-2 shot against a half-health squad. That pack, man, Luvnest just is just not able to hit this thing. Pack should shoot again, right? Maybe didn't have sight. Park planting a mine here. Luvnest is probably gonna see it. Ooh, yeah, okay, yep. He canceled it, so he figured Luvnest saw it. IS-2 shot penetrates. Holy cow, another bounce. And then another penetrating shot for that IS-2. Pack is in range, doesn't have sight though. Stug coming into support. Next patch, that's going to be a great way to support against heavy tanks. Stug misses, or the pack missed, one of the two. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Oh my god! Relic, please! Please! Vet 3. These guys are Vet 3. Vet 3 at running away. Man, they're retreating again. Oh boy, I hope that I'm not the only one that finds this like really amusing. I don't know, sometimes like, this is how much of a nerd I am, right? So, spoiler alert, I'm a huge nerd. Like, sometimes I always try to envision, like, what if this was real life right now? So the other day I was playing a game and I had like 2 Soviet snipers and I was getting pushed by a half track. And like, it was in 2s, so like the infantry was fighting each other, the Germans were reinforcing at the half track, and like the snipers just sat in one spot, basically attack, move, like sniping. I was like, you know, what if this was real life and these snipers, like they just shoot dudes and then more dudes pop out of the back of the half track, you know, like, yeah, what would you think? Anyways, maybe it's not as funny as I think it is, but the action's a little bit calmed down for now, which is why I wanted to tell that random story. Luvnest still controlling this entire side of the map and trying to push back in here. He definitely wants to keep a hold of the VPs since he is down to just 123 VPs left. So he either needs to hold this side because there's 2, or this plus at least that part of this side. So right now he has this under good control. Definitely doesn't want to lose this area. This MG is it's just being a real pain for Luvnest. His Tiger is fully repaired. He kills that crawler because that crawler was actually what was giving the MG42 sight in there. So I believe, hopefully this isn't an NDA spoiler, I don't think it's a major change. Molotov going in here. Much more definitely avoided than earlier in the game. So I don't believe this is a major change, so I'm just going to say it. Crawlers should be living a lot less long in the future. This is gun, Vet 3. 2 penetrating shots on the front of that Tiger, man. The Vet 3 Ziz are so good. Rate of fire and penetration, rate of fire. So, 2 rate of fire increases and a penetration increase makes it almost as good as a vetted Pack 40. Vetted Pack 40 still is just such a monster. I guess technically a Vet 5 Roketten is probably the best AT gun in the game. But how often are you going to get a Vet 5 Roketten? Pack 40 is still my pick for the best AT gun. So, Luvnest still has control of this area of the map. These S-mines have been doing a good job of helping him with that. IS-2 pushes right up on the Stug. Stug just can't penetrate this. The Flame Barrage forcing the pack off, which is really unfortunate because he was able to engine damage at IS-2. These Grens, hopefully they don't get an unlucky flame. Hopefully they don't jinx him. Alright, they should. I don't want to speak too soon. I'm not going to say they're going to be good up. They're not good. Not good. This is Barrage. Here we go. Guess what's retreating, boys? It's going through the fire. No, 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 no. You've lived so long. Live, live, live. Okay, good. It lives. Tiger flanking this new Ziz gun. Not the Vet 3 one. Dropping light already, so this Ziz is almost surely dead. And oh, sorry, it was not light already. That was the suppression run. Hopefully that Tiger, okay, the Tiger does deflect the AT grenade. These shocks are getting eaten alive by that Tiger. Meanwhile, the Tiger is getting eaten alive by that Vet 3 Ziz gun that's just penetrating every single shot. Oh man, Ziz guns are so good, boys. Can't even get suppressed either. Did suppress the mortar though, so I guess that's something. So the engine damaged IS-2 is going to take a while to get repaired. And, oh, Park to get a mine. Luvnest retreat, Luvnest retreat. I keep kind of like rooting for Luvnest. I'm not actually rooting for him. Like, I respect both of these players greatly. I've never really talked to Park, so like I would say I'm more friendly with Luvnest, but I'm only rooting for Luvnest right now because he's about to lose. Well, not about to lose. He has less VPs, and so I'm rooting for the long game. I want to see a long and good game, and I'm pretty sure we still have quite some time in this game. So it's not that, you know, I don't want anybody to mistakenly think that I don't like one or either of the other players. Anytime I'm cheering for something, it's just because I want to see a good game. So Luvnest doing a really, really good job of taking back this side of the map. And I was going to say, I'm a little bit surprised that Park hasn't harassed over here. He is now. I think he's a little bit scared of these S-mines. But he's still harassing this area. So I think his primary concern on this side should be just to threaten that VP, so that Luvnest has to send at least 1 or 2 squads over there to constantly cap that, and that way Park can keep the bleed on Luvnest. And this army value is extremely equal, 87 to 89. I'm going to turn the fog back off for a second. So it's a really, really great, diverse army from Park. We have shocks, we have cons, kind of the backbone. We have a stolen machine gun, mortar, and CIZ gun. So beautiful diversity here. Also with Luvnest too. So both players exhibiting really nice combined arms. Luvnest has Gransis's backbone, MG to support, Pack, mortar to support, and he has a Tiger and a Stug. Shocks pulling a really nasty flank, just annihilating that Pack gun. Rear armor bounce of that Faust into that squad, getting wiped by the IS-2. So unfortunate for Luvnest there. This gun has a good line on that. Stug gets the shot, but Stug gets away with like a little bit of health. 25 kill Tiger flanks around this building. This is one thing you don't really see. Flanking heavies. This is actually missed a penetrating shot. I don't think it has. This penetrated 2 more shots frontally. So the IS-2 is rumbling after the Tiger. There's a teller mine here. I think there was there a teller there, or was that a Soviet mine? One way or another, I think the Tiger blew up the Soviet mine there, which had heavy engine damages the IS-2. There's been some crazy RNG in this game. I mean, from, you know, this is penetrating everything to this IS-2 having Jesus armor. These Grens are gonna just try to, as soon as I comment on Luvnest's beautiful diverse army, it all dies, unfortunately. He does have plenty of manpower though, so he should be able to recrew this stuff with some Pyos. The Stug tried to move up to start shooting at that IS-2, but the cons were there. This is another moment that will change next patch, in that Stug could have eaten an AT grenade from those cons and still threatened this IS-2. So another moment in which mediums will be, you know, significantly better against heavies, and just better in general because of that change. This mortar laying in rounds on that Vet 3 machine gun, still only 6 kills. Another bounced shot from that IS-2 and another... I don't know which is more, like, if this machine gun retreating constantly is more of a joke, or if this thing, like, just never getting penetrated is more of a joke at this point in the game. Not a joke in a bad way, but, like, you know, a bounce, bounce. Relic, please. Pack picked up again. That was some physics engine right there, boys. The IS-2 like bounced off of the point, the flag. Hopefully this pack gets out of there. I think that was another teller. Looked like there was a teller there that got blown up by the mortar. Tiger does have Vet 2 now, so that's going to be a really nice improvement. So he's actually going to have a range advantage on this IS-2 for now, although the IS-2 is super close to Vet 2 as well, in which case they'll both have, I believe, 50 range. I believe they should have the same range as the Panther, which is 50. So We'll take a sip of water while it's a little bit quiet here to ease my sore throat. I maybe have overestimated my throat's abilities, which that sounds so terrible taken out of context. I'll leave your own minds to that. I'm not even commenting on that. And before, that's somebody's signature in the forums or something, and everybody thinks I'm gay, which I'm not. So you all know I'm married, right? Yep. All right, cool. So fighting still is only really happening on the side of the map. I haven't been paying an extraordinary amount of attention to this side because there's been so much action on this, eastern half. But Luvnest still just vying for this VP. He wants to stop the drain, which he does at 112 VPs. So he's not out of the game, but he doesn't have an extraordinary amount of time. The Ziz barrage not really connecting with much of anything. And this just goes to show how well the Ziz has constantly been positioned. It actually only has one kill, which I'm trying to figure out if that was infantry, right? I kind of get my kill count here. There we go. So he only killed that P4, and actually one friendly unit, which was, I think it was that shock troop. But he's vet 3. It was just a good testament to how much damage he's actually been doing. This mortar definitely, yep, it's decrewed. Luvnest didn't even need to shoot that grenade, but not really a big deal. And I'm a little bit surprised that Luvnest hasn't invested in either another pack gun. Oh boy, 2 IS-2s. 2 IS-2s on the field, and Park looks like he really wants to go for it. Luvnest focusing on the vet 1 IS-2, can't get out of there with the mortar. Not really the worst ever though. Vet 2 Tiger tanking a lot of the damage. Actually, all of the damage so far. These Grens could maybe get a sneaky Faust. The non-embedded IS-2 pushing up, and he actually pops AP rounds. I don't know if he wants to suppress things more, or if he just wants every little bit of damage that he can get on this tank. Man, those guys are like heroes. Did Luvnest just tech tier 4? I heard we are now authorized to request more powerful units. He did. Holy cow. Luvnest, you are a baller, man. If you ever watch this game, that's mad respect right here. So you're facing down 2 Ziz guns and 2 IS-2s, and you risk teching tier 4. I like it. I like it. I would have been a wuss, and I would have bought like 2 more packs and thrown away my Stug and gotten a Tiger, and probably like thrown away 2 of my Grens too. So I'd just be like, Tiger, pack, A move, go. Anyways, this machine gun is actually now being a hero, like I was saying, suppressing all the stuff over here. It probably actually did a little bit of damage. What? Somebody just hit a mine. That IS-2 just hit the teller! Oh man! That was the vetted one. That thing was almost vet 2. Hit that teller. Luvnest's tellers have been beautiful this game. If Luvnest wins this, I have actually no idea who wins this game. This is my first time watching it. If Luvnest wins this, those teller mines, I think that would be like the most impactful thing. I don't think impactful thing is a word. I think I made up that impactful is a word. I think those tellers will be the most influential reason as to why Luvnest wins if he does. So his vet 2 Tiger is actually like 60% of the way to vet 3. I think he's going to get nasty at vet 3. It rolls around faster and shoots faster. And does he put up? He does. So Luvnest this game, as Ostheer, has built every tech structure, called in a Tiger, and used a Stug against IS-2s, which the new Stug should be great against IS-2s, but the current Stug has like even less penetration than a P4. It does have the rage advantage until the IS-2 gets to vet 2, which would have been a problem if this guy had lived, wherever that carcass went. But those teller mines were huge, and as much as I generally don't like SU-85s, I almost think that Park should tech for 1, because Luvnest only has 1 pack, and 1 pack isn't that big of a threat to IS or SU-85s. Like 2 is a pretty big threat. Rip that squad. I think guess he wanted to engine damage it and then get around the back with his IS-2. I think this IS-2 still wins that fight, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's definitely RNG either way. He definitely can't chase because of the threat of the Stug and the pack coming though, and he has. I guess he does have his Zizzes coming, but Luvnest has 2 mortars now, so he has the stolen 82 and his own GR34. This pack out of position. He really needs to start pulling back. This MG needs to flip. And the MG turns in time, suppresses the shocks. Big push over here. So the IS-2 leading the charge with the Ziz guns. I guess maybe he doesn't need an SU-85. He does have 2 Ziz guns. Maybe I'm crazy. I was going to say, as much as I don't like SU-85s, they are very good against Tigers and Stugs. But Vet 3's Ziz gun is also very good against Tigers and Stugs. So. Luvnest being pushed off of most of the map. We have a weird north-south split now. He is under 100 VPs, but he is capping this, so there's no drain anymore. And he's planting S-mines here. Unfortunately, he runs into, I believe that Grand Squad ran into a mine. It will survive though, looks like it will anyway. So S-mine should help him control this, although he really probably wishes he was able to finish that so that the whole VP would be covered in mines rather than just his half of the VP or the top half of the VP. Really didn't want to retreat that squad, but you know he definitely has to. And Luvnest is building a Panther, so we're about to see Tiger Stug Panther Wombo combo with double mortar MG Grens. It's a pretty baller army composition actually. So Tiger, 45 kills now, a sliver away from Bet 3. This thing's about to become an ace. Park, sick of the S-mines, grabs sweepers, which is very smart of him to do. He's actually lost almost all of his cons. He only has 1 con squad remaining. Luvnest has a perfect core of fully vetted LMG Grens. These guys need to retreat though, that grenade was nasty, looks like they're gonna get out. IS-2 still bouncing shots like crazy. Vet 3, we have an unofficial Tiger ace. Pack pulling out of the flames. They might roast to death though. They're standing in the fire. Oh, looks like they're gonna get out of there with a sliver of health. Oh no, the Tiger's pushing them back into the fire. Just pathing things, guys. So the Tiger was trying to come in here, the pack was trying to go through there. Luvnest making a huge push. Tiger and Panther supporting each other. The Tiger should go for this AT gun. The Panther should go for the IS-2. Panther is able to penetrate it frontally. Luvnest really wants to get this Ziz gun down. He's going to get the flank of it, but the IS-2 is going to flank the Tiger. This is a really intense moment right now. That Tiger is blitzing out of there. Sliver of health. One more putting straight shot will kill it. Max range from the IS-2. Park doesn't go for it. He loses line of sight. Crew shock. The Tiger bounces a shot on the frontal arm of the IS-2. Crew shocks it, which stuns it in place. This IS-2 gets a little bit hung up on it. The Stug can't penetrate it. Holy cow. So the Stug and the Panther, both with a sliver of health, are trying to push away this IS-2. Vet 2, he could get a rear armor stun here. Stuns it. Sliver of health on that guy. Luvnest, go pick up this AT gun. The Panther's out. Deflects what looked like a rear shot, but penetrates a frontal shot. Main gun destroyed. Luvnest, pick up the pack. Pick up the pack. No, Luvnest, no. You can do it. Park knows. Alright, flip the pack. Close range, that's gotta be at least medium range penetration, but it bounces and then gets decreased. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh man. No words. There are no words. None at all. Wow. Alright, I need a sip of water after that.
Grenadiers ready.
Wow.
Pioneers awaiting orders.
Mortar team awaiting orders.
So it's all quiet after that. Well, alright, so RNG aside, both players I think played that extremely well. I think Luvnest played it slightly better, that engagement.
Territory
The
secured.
only thing I think he could have done better, I don't even know. I'm not even going to try to say that.
We will not let up.
That was, I think, about as perfectly as he could have played that engagement. Unfortunately, IS-2 frontal armor is disgusting. These guys really need to get out of there, and I don't want to become shock fodder. 35 kill shock troops. It's crazy. A lot of kills on those shocks. I guess there's 38 kills on these Grens. 10 kills now on these guys. They're about to get Molotov again and retreat. Yep, there we go. This Stug coming out, hopefully. Ooh, that could have been early nasty rifle nade. The Stug coming to support here. It's definitely going to get pushed off by this Vet 3 Ziz gun, though. Reversing immediately. Takes 2 nasty shots in the face. Luvnest is able to cap this though, so they're really struggling for each other's VPs. You know, Park can feel the end is near. Luvnest down to 50 VPs. I don't know if I'd go for this Faust. Oof. So it does get the engine damage, but it doesn't have anything in place to follow up on
We
it.
are losing a sector.
It does have a Tiger coming though.
Standing by.
I was gonna get there in time. Gets a little bit hung up on these buildings. Maybe these buildings need to be a little bit more spaced apart. So it's gonna be 2 IS-2s against 2 Tigers, although the veterancy is extraordinarily in the Tigers' favor, being Vet 3 versus Vet 0, Vet 1. Vet 1 doesn't actually give you any combat effectiveness. I think Love, he needs to focus this one, I think. I don't know. Like, shifting the fire, I think, is a little bit of an awkward micro mistake. Stug is coming to support, though. Although the Ziz gun is here now. That super low health Ziz gun.
The situation is becoming critical. We have only 50 points remaining.
I guess he tries to cap with that mortar squad. I would be extremely paranoid of this road if I was Park, because he's already lost. Probably lost like 2 tanks to Tellers. This mortar laying in a nice round on there. Hopefully it will be able to DQ that AT gun. The Tiger coming over here to push off the MG from the VP, that pesky MG42 that got stolen. Well, he might be able to kill this Vet 3 Ziz gun, although his Vet 3 Tiger is in a really bad spot. Vet 3 Ziz gun has in his sights the I-2 penetrates a max range shot, but he gets out of the arc of fire of the Ziz. He should be able to get to safety. He does have a range advantage and right now a speed advantage. Ooh, man. Those IS-2s. So
We have a full squad.
his mortar's dead. Park's Ziz gun is back in base getting healed up. He needs to repair the Ziz too. It's a sliver of health. Literally 1 Tiger shot is just gonna take that down. Sacrificing his mortar to try and get that VP. Takes out engineers though, which is very important at this point in the game when repairing. You know, repairing these heavies is extremely important. This Stug just cannot penetrate. It's actually like sad. There it goes. That was 2 nice shots. And now it's a Vet 3 Stug. Vet 3 Stug might have a sight on the rear armor. No. Bouncy, bouncy. That's what IS-2s do. Double Ziz here now. Pushing all of these tanks away. I don't even know what to focus on. So Luvnest is capping this VP back, but he has an IS-2 here to push Luvnest off. He's still going to be able to cap the VP before anything happens. The Tiger comes around the rear arm of the IS-2. IS-2 armor is good, but it's not great. 1 more penetrating shot. Vet 3. Yeah, there's no way this IS-2 lives. Out of control. 1 IS-2 down. Love is blitzing away. He actually kills it before it even has a chance to shoot itself. Doesn't want to get in range of this AT grenade. I think he eludes the AT grenade range and is going to be able to keep this Tiger over here with this MG to keep these cons out of the capping circle. And Park is having to rebuild his engineers. The other IS-2, Vet 2 IS-2, still low health, is pushing over here to get this VP. And Luvnest will probably really want to send one of those Pyos, or like maybe even make another Pyo squad to cap that VP, especially because this MG is going to have to pack up and run, which it's extraordinarily good at, as we know from the rest of this game. And that's like the most awkward flame barrage ever. It might actually be able to stay there, although it is under MG fire. These Grens are able to flank that MG, so
Enemy has killed a machine gun crew.
that heroic machine gun is lost. However, he did manage to use it to keep this VP, which is extremely important given that he's at 25 VPs, and I believe he's aiming for another Tiger, which is kind of an all-in the sense that... What did he use to recruit that MG? Oh, I guess he used that gun spot. It's running back. Oh, good thing they were in green cover. They only took half damage from that grenade. So for those that don't know, when you're in green cover, you only take half damage. I believe from everything. Definitely from explosions. I don't know if it's half damage from small arms, but definitely from explosions. So a lot of times if you're going to get grenaded in green cover and your squad's at full health, it's better just to stay in the green cover rather than try and move out, because if you move out too late, you're going to go to no cover and then take full damage, and that's super bad. So Luvnest is actually building another Panther. So once again, the super diverse army composition in terms of his tanks. Unfortunately, his he did have a very diverse composition, including packs, MGs, mortars, just about every unit type except for P-Grans, because P-Grans suck. But he hit, he didn't have P-Grans or snipers, but other than that, he pretty much hit all of the highlights of the Ostheer army, which is beautiful to see. I love watching players play with diverse armies rather than like only guards and only 85s. So Luvnest has 2 Tigers watching this VP, and I do believe that it is very smart for him to focus on this side of the map, because he doesn't want to try to hold here and here, because that's so spread out. So he has to hold VPs, and these 2 are the closest to themselves, and really if you hold this one, if you're on the north side of the map, if you hold this VP, you're pretty much guaranteed to have that one. His Tiger and Stug actually pushing over here. I think he didn't want Park to cap that VP. The Stug lays in a stun round on there, but then both shots bounce again. Stug pulling out, getting out of there slowly but surely. The Panther not arriving quite in time. This Vet 2 IS-2 pulling back. Luvnest down to less than 25 VPs. He is going to be able to push in here, though. This AT gun is not in position to shoot this Tiger. Definitely about to get decrewed. First shot comes in, takes out a guy, super low health, gun breaks. That pack is gone, or that Ziz gun is gone. Luvnest should be able to cap this VP. He only has to decap it. He does decap it before he gets pinned. He'll probably get pinned before he fully caps it, but the bleed is gone for now. This Tiger really needs to push up slightly to start killing this MG, so hopefully his Pyos won't. Hopefully they can finish the cap. The IS-2, another IS-2 is on the field, coming over here to push this Tiger off, penetrates its first shot. Luvnest does manage to cap that. I think he should really invest in some more Pyos, and actually I don't think he realized that his Panther is being held up by his pop cap. He has too much pop cap in tanks. I don't even know what he could throw away. I think he'd have to throw away a Tiger to get the Panther, which doesn't seem like a great trade. Smoke here to ensure that he gets this cap. This Vet 3 Tiger strafing the IS-2, gets the rear armor, blitzing to kite the turret. He's cutting the turret, cutting the turret, takes it out, but Park caps that VP. This machine gun, even the new crew of this machine is just getting eaten up by flamethrowers. I don't know if Luvnest has anything close enough to cap that VP. Yes, I think his only hope is to cap this VP, which might be possible. He could potentially crush these shocks or push them out of the capping circle. 14 VPs. Super tense moment. Those Pyos just got eaten alive by shocks. I think this Tiger needed to push up here. This IS-2 though, half health. Oh, that's a really unlucky engine damage. Come on, this Tiger needs to push up. 8 points, 7 points. These shocks are not getting out of here for anything. This IS-2 is definitely gonna die. 5 points. Luvnest is in the capping circle. He only has to decap it. 4 points. Bounce on the IS-2. Bounce again. Bounce again. Are you kidding me? Alright, there goes the IS-2. So Park has no tanks left. Luvnest just has to keep this decapped. He really needs to take out this CIZ gun. He is moving over here to pick up that. This VP as well. He's floating 600 manpower. I would be calling in Pyos like crazy. Tiger's focusing this MG very wisely. Rifle grenade goes in. Oh man. What a friggin' game. This CIZ gun is gonna die for sure. 2 Tigers facing it. Vet 3 CIZ gun down. I would destroy that. Luvnest does. We have 2 Tigers and... So we have a Vet 3 Tiger and a Vet 3 Stug against no tanks from Park. No fuel for IS-2s in the near future. Luvnest has all 3 VPs. I would be building a friggin' bunker over here so fast. Or I guess maybe Luvnest can just save for like a 3rd Tiger and go base or something. Wow. I need a sip of water again. That was crazy. This has been a crazy game.
Pioneers ready for assignment. We fight bravely for the Reich.
Alright.
The enemy is down.
Luvnest building another Panther. I guess he figures 2 Tigers is enough. Oh boy, that Tiger's probably dead. Woo! Bounces that shot. Alright, I don't think he can complain about RNG. He's had plenty of frontally penetrating. Yeah, Luvnest. Oh man. I don't know if they don't like each other or... I don't know. I'm not gonna start any drama by saying they don't like each other. They're both great players. I'm just gonna leave it at that. They're both great players.
A Panther has arrived from the fatherland.
So 2 CIZ guns to hopefully try and push off the Tiger. So Park knows that Luvnest is only at 2 VPs. I mean, he's triple capped right now, but he still has 153 VPs left. And all he has to do is cap, you know, double cap Luvnest for literally 2 seconds, and he can win. This VP is right near his base. So I think his thought is, as long as he can push Luvnest's armor out of here for long enough to sneak a squad over here, then he can win. Very wisely picking up that machine gun. Now once he gets his VP capped, I probably just would have put the 3-man machine gun like behind this green armor, behind this green cover provided by that tank. The Panther is on the road, looking at the dead carcass of his P4 buddy. And I'm just peeking into the base. Seems a little bit risky. I think it's 18-aided. Okay, it bounces on the frontal armor. I was gonna say, I think it's 18-aided, and then there's 2 CIZ on the rear armor of the Panther. Panther rear armor is not extraordinary. I'm pretty sure if I was Luvnest, I would build a bunker over here. I think what I'd do is have a bunker here and a Tiger here, and then everything else on this side. I'd keep my Panther, Tiger, and Stug over here. Because that way, so like if you have a bunker and a Tiger, then you need his CIZ guns to kill it, to kill the bunker, but then hopefully your Tiger could just strafe the CIZ guns or something like that. Or you can keep your Grens there too, and the Grens can help. So yeah, so this is exactly what like Park was going for. So he does have this, and the CIZ guns are going to keep Luvnest's tanks at bay. So that squad's forced to retreat. The Tiger is coming in as fast as it can. It really needs to focus these guys. Engine damage, gets his foot in the circle, so this flag will no longer be raised. Pushes the cons out. Incendiary barrage coming in though, so Luvnest isn't going to be able to recap this yet. But he will be able to push. Well, he has AT gun stealth there, I think. He's able to push Park out of this VP though, so that was a very close call, but Luvnest expertly avoids losing there and brings Park down to 100 VPs. This is another reason I love the CUC-2 capping system, is the foot in the circle mechanic, where you can prevent somebody from capping a point by also being inside of that point, and I believe that leads to a greater degree of tactical decision making than the VCO capping system, in which it's very binary. It's either A, you can cap it under fire or before you get killed, or B, you can't, and so you stop capping it. Whereas in VCO, there's a lot more of a stalling and delaying. In CUC-2, there's a lot more of a stalling and delaying ability from each player. So, Tiger laying in brutal rounds. This one's up to 36 kills. Vet 2 engine damage, unfortunately. So 77 kills on that Vet 3 Tiger. 37 on this Vet 2 Tiger. The Stug is still Vet 3. I don't know why I say still Vet 3, but the Stug is up to Vet 3.
The enemy is down to
CUC-2 is a
75 points.
beautiful game. Just look at the wreckage of this battlefield. This was a house. This used to be a full health house. This used to be a Ziz gun. Like, there's craters everywhere. Tank carcasses everywhere. Panther carcass. Is that 2 panther carcasses? Did both panthers die there? Yeah, it looks like it. 4 panthers. E4 carcass. Park calling in a KB8, which I think is a little bit of a desperation move just to take those 2 VPs out. He's probably correct in assuming that he would not have had time to save for another IS-2. So he is managing to keep control of this VP. Oh, Panther pushing in. Sneaky, sneaky Panther. 50 range, that should be in range. Does he have line of sight? Takes out the KB8 with a max range shot. That was a beautiful little Panther flank from Luvnest there. Now pushing in with his Vet 3, 77 kill Tiger. I think he's just going to go for the throat here. Luvnest doesn't want to risk this ticking out. He has... Oh no, did the Stug die? That poor Stug, the thing was a hero. But he has firm control over this VP, firm control over that VP. 2 amazingly vetted Tigers flanking these Ziz guns. These AT guns have definitely seen better days, although his Tiger crew shocks his other Tiger. 80 kills on this Tiger now. First Ziz gun down. Second Ziz gun down. 47 and 81 kills. 47 and 81, 128 kills on those 2 Tigers. That was one hell of a game, for sure. I would try to say that with more enthusiasm, but I am pretty exhausted from this cast, honestly. An hour and 8 minutes, friggin' Tiger Ace Arena right here, and then like baby Tiger Ace, Vet 3 Stug. We saw P4 Stugs, Panthers, Tigers, IS-2s, just all kinds of armor. Brilliant play by Luvnest, for sure. Brilliant play by Park as well. Definitely have to give the swag points to Luvnest, though, for teching literally every single Ostheer tech building and fielding such a wide variety of armor. It's very refreshing to see that kind of gameplay over, just sit on 2 to 3 packs and wait for my Tigers so I can kill his 85s by reversing while my packs shoot them, and, hope that the 85s don't penetrate too much with marked target. Honestly, the game was like too long for me to remember like all the little things that I wanted to point out to you guys as like very important decisions or things that I would have done differently. The only decision that I disagree with, and this is because I'm a wuss and I don't have balls like Luvnest, I would have never risked teching for Panthers. I would have just gotten like 2 to 3 packs and just tried to crutch packs and tigers. It's hard to say whether or not the Panthers paid off. They all died except for the last one, but it does give Luvnest the ability to, help zone out those IS-2s. So, like, if his Tigers can take the IS-2 shots, since they have so much health, or take the CIZ shots, while his Panther kind of sits behind them, the Panther's going to have a significantly higher chance to penetrate the IS-2 than anything else he had on the field. So, in that regard, it's very possible that it was a good choice. So it is very, very difficult to say. So definitely a lot of respect for him teching that. I'm a little bit surprised he never fielded a Opel Blitz truck. I guess it probably wouldn't have really paid off in the long run. There was only a couple times as well where he was, had the manpower to do so. So as for Park, I really kind of wish we had seen Tier 4 tech. Up until the Panther showed up, I think it would have been a good call. SU-85s, while not great against Panthers and packs, Luvnest only had 1 pack, they are quite decent against Tigers, and they're absolutely amazing against Stugs. Definitely a hard counter to Stugs, although that Stug was awesome. I want to give that Stug some swag points. Vet 3. The frontal armor bouncing was a little bit unfortunate, but hopefully with the new patch we won't see so many heavies rolling around. Hopefully mediums can get to the rear armor. I would still advocate for a very minor frontal armor reduction on heavies, or a rear armor reduction on heavies, so that when mediums get the flank, they are very, very good against the rear armor of heavies. So, but maybe limiting it to 1 heavy will be enough. Other than that, that MG crew, that poor MG crew, was pretty humorous in my opinion. I really want to know how many times that thing retreated. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Thank you very much for watching the cast. As always, leave any kind of constructive criticism that you may have for me in the comments section. And definitely, if any of you for whatever reason have not heard of Kotu.org, check out Kotu.org. It has a lot of great content for this game. And have a good day, everyone. Take care.